Okay, we're back more with Morgan Bentley. Morgan, what I want to ask you about, too, is the manner in which these investments were made.
Right.
I talked to some investment brokers, and a lot of them say, you know, they give the money to me, but they actually don't make the checks out to me. I invest the money for them, but they make it out to Smith Barney or some brokerage house, and they can watch their accounts online with that company and see how they're doing. But in the Nadel case, I think a lot of people were writing checks to Art Nadel, weren't they?
Some did. Right, there were, but mostly they didn't actually. Most of them
No.
were to a specific fund, either Scoop or Valhalla or Viking or what have you.
Okay.
And there is a connection to a brokerage house, Goldman Sachs. So you could go into Art Nadel's office, pull up Goldman Sachs' webpage, and see your account online. And that's one of the big questions.
And was it for real, though?
We don't know. We're going to find out. It was put in there through an entity called Shoreline Trading, which if you go online, shorelinetradinggroup.com, you'll see it focuses on small hedge funds. It is a niche player that has access to these bigger brokerage houses. And, you know, we'll find out. And that's probably a lower priority right now, is because hopefully Goldman Sachs will be around. If they're not, we probably all have bigger problems. But right now, our focus is solely on freezing assets. That's all we do all day long at this point, is find them and freeze them.
That's my next question I was going to ask you. I'm sure your number one priority is trying to help get as much money back for these people that have lost their money as you can.
Right.
Are you looking at other people around Nadel that he may have transferred money to, some of this investor money to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we know where $95 million went to. $95 million of the $397 that was raised was taken out in management fees. One half went to Art Nadel, and one half went to Chris Moody and Neil Moody.
And who are they?
Technically, they were the managing members of some of the funds, and Art Nadel would simply be an independent contractor who they brought on to do the trading. So technically, we keep talking about Art Nadel, Art Nadel, Art Nadel. It's actually, for three of the funds, it was Neil and Chris Moody, not Art Nadel at all.
And what's going on with them? Are they being prosecuted?
By me. I'm the only person in the country that has taken an action against them, and we have a state receiver appointed here in Sarasota. The federal receiver has not done anything with that, despite lots and lots of pressure from lots and lots of sources. I don't
What
know.
about the U.S. attorney?
And the U.S. attorney has not acted. The SEC has not acted. I think what's going on is this: you've got two bank robbers. One of them's cooperating, one of them isn't. Well, you play nice with the one that's cooperating, and one day they'll probably get to a point where they feel like they've gotten enough information, and they're going to turn around and say, by the way, please give me $47.5 million that you took illegally. And when that happens, they're going to get lawyered up, and that already has happened. They hired David Boies, who represented Al Gore, indicating there's some money somewhere, that.
So they're speaking to federal investigators, the Moody's are, and they're playing along and cooperating, hoping that they don't get charged.
That was the plan from the get-go, is to say we're a victim just like everybody else.
Yeah, the people that are out there that are thinking about investing money. I mean, knowing what you know about the way a lot of these people operate, what advice would you give an investor to protect themselves against somebody like this?
Number one thing is audited financials. I mean, the thing that jumps out, if you were to read the prospectus and the private placement memos that went out in this case, is these big disclosures about there are no audited financials. And for anyone who's going to invest $2 million or $6 million or $8 million, to have no audited financials available is a major red flag. I mean, I don't care if it's a hedge fund or not. And by that only means you're outside SEC regulation. You still should have audited financials. It's not that big a deal. It gives you that extra level of protection that you and I can't do as individual investors. It's just almost impossible unless you don't have a day job. And so that's number one. And number two is, if it's too good to be true, probably is.
Yeah, some of the returns. He never had a month where it went down, right? Where his fund went down.
Right.
It was up every single month.
Yeah, the market goes down 30% and he makes 5%.
He still goes up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Morgan, thanks a lot.
Oh, my pleasure. Great.
Now it's time, I guess, for our Weasel of the Week. Our Weasel of the Week is easy this week. It's former Sheriff Bill Balkwill. There are 5 things that Sheriff Balkwill did in this situation that made him the Weasel of the Week. Number 1, He absolutely should not have accepted any gifts from any company making a pitch or a proposal to him. He shouldn't have gone on fishing trips and hunting trips. He shouldn't have accepted $1,500 in meals. Elected officials should not do it, period. I don't even care what the law is on it. Shouldn't do it. Number two, he should not have exchanged emails with this company himself. Absolutely shouldn't have done it. It should have been done through different channels, through a procurement officer or whatever. It shouldn't have been directly from him with the guy who was taking him on the fishing trips. Number three, he should not have taken the sheriff's office computer home and should not have kept that computer after he was sheriff. Number four, and this is an obvious one, when the court order was issued to have the computer returned, he should not have erased 11,000 files that were on it. And finally, number five, he has absolutely refused to talk to the press about this issue. Well, he should. He was an elected official. He's responsible for what happened when he was in office. He is acting like a criminal defendant and pleading the fifth, and that's unbecoming of a former sheriff. This is the first really, truly big test for the Knight administration. We'll see what he's going to do. Clearly, there are some serious issues here that need to be investigated. His agency says they are investigating him, and we will be keeping a close eye on it. This may be a great opportunity for our young new sheriff to step up and show a lot of courage. We'll see you next week on Clout 941.
You ready? Let's go!